John here, and you've got me for a minute or so thanks for stopping by. If you're like me, you get a lot of chain email forwards from friends or relatives often urging you to action based on misleading or fraudulent political or cultural misinformation. Sometimes they're just silly and not worth the time to read, let alone forward. And sometimes they're the unhinged ravings of a lunatic fringe. And so you wonder, is my friend or relative sending me this because they really feel this way, or are they just easily manipulated, short on insight, and lack the presence of mind to understand what it is they're helping to perpetuate? Sometimes I just ignore and delete the email, affording it less than what it actually deserves. Other times, I do feel a little bit compelled to respond. Like now. Here's an email I received today, written in a wide variety of font styles and sizes, colors, and random boldface and underlined words, such that it resembled a hastily constructed ransom note. It's entitled, New Christmas Stamp, and it reads as follows. They don't believe in Christ, but get their own Christmas stamp. What is happening to us? Buying stamps? Don't buy this stamp. It is pretty, but keep reading. Will be available November 1, 2013. President Obama has directed the United States Postal Service to remember and honor the EID Muslim holiday season with a new commemorative 46-cent first-class holiday postage stamp. The new stamp is the second Muslim stamp and celebrates a Muslim holiday. If there is only one thing you forward today, let it be this. Remember to adamantly boycott this stamp when you purchase stamps anywhere. All you have to say is, no thank you, I do not want a Muslim stamp on my letters. Buy our U.S. flag stamp instead. Please, pass this along to every patriotic American you know and get the word out. Honor the United States of America. A very disturbing email chain, to be sure, and for two reasons. One, the fact that nothing in the email is true. And two, that it's considered patriotic in the U.S. to be anti-Muslim. Very disturbing indeed. This coming week, we citizens of the United States observe Veterans Day to honor veterans of our armed forces, men and women throughout the history of our nation who fought to secure for us the freedoms for which the key principles of our nation were established. Yes, I do have thoughts about our collective fight for our freedoms, but that's for another time. As to those freedoms, among them is the exercise of religion without hindrance of intolerance or persecution. At times, a seemingly unrealistic ambition, to be sure, but certainly one for which the racially and culturally bigoted content of this email thread stands as a disservice, masquerading as a selfless pursuit of cultural righteousness and social dignity, while actually fostering and perpetuating a considerably less honorable perspective, and doing so with overt dishonesty. The flower stamp shown in the email is neither a Christmas stamp nor a Muslim stamp. It's a design from the United States Postal Service's new Kaleidoscope Flowers series found on the USPS website. There's a link in the video description. While the USPS does indeed have stamp designs that include Islamic iconography, those stamps have been around for nearly 14 years and have nothing whatsoever to do with Obama's presidency. Even so, I see no valid reason for why such offense should be taken for the existence of such stamps. They should not be considered an affront to patriotism, and if the idea that such symbolism is believed to align with theoretically anti-American activities and sentiments, it should also be noted that terrorist bombings and Middle Eastern political oppression are no more reflective of Islamic belief as school shootings and fast food gluttony, systemic materialism, imperial military occupation, and bank fraud are reflective of Christian virtue. Simply put, this email is pure bullshit, and you should not in good conscience stoop so low as to forward it on to others. And if this email was sent to you, respond accordingly by sharing this video with the sender, to whom I will now address directly with the following. Hi. I realize that the email you sent is part of a pre-existing chain generally forwarded on in one generation after another by people who probably don't know better, and is therefore more a reflection of their reactive ignorance rather than their conscious bigotry. Now, you do know better, so rather than continuing to forward it on, take responsibility for the wrong you have helped to perpetuate, even if with well-meaning intent, and help to correct it. Send this response video back up the chain to those from whom you received the original email thread, and ask them to do the same. Perhaps it'll eventually meet with someone who is not so much ignorant as simply insidious, and who gleefully had their own hand in crafting the email in the first place. Corrective information is unlikely to help them, but at least you don't have to set yourself up as a pawn at the whim of someone else's social abuse. There's way too much of that on the internet already. But there's also a lot of really good stuff out there. Get informed with the facts so you don't have to rely on misinformation by those who seek to manipulate you. Then think and act for yourself. But please, try to do so in a way that honors the sacrifices of those who fought for your freedom to do so.